world here at YCS Niagara Falls, Ontario. My goodness, whoa, Joey Chou, welcome back to the channel, man.
Hey Bartle, what's up?
Today, bro?
I topped the YCS, didn't test too much, but my boy Cam put me on, so.
Put him on the Dragon League.
Yeah, so I'm playing I'm playing Tenpai, yeah, okay.
Hey, well, any shots before we begin, man?
Shout outs to Enzo and Ryan for telling me to play Tenpai, and then they switched decks last minute. Shout out to Cam for testing and deck lockdowning me and testing. And that's it.
Okay, well, obviously, no regrets using this deck of cards.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
There you go.
Okay.
Please show us the top 3 suitors.
Okay, yeah, so this engine is probably the weakest engine I've probably played maybe ever. You literally probably can't break like one interrupt maybe, like going second. So these are all pretty standard. This one's just kind of a brick, but you just play one. I would still just play one, like I'd rather just take the tax. And then this one is not great either, but the only good thing about this one is if they have just effect veiler, it can dodge it. So, but usually I take out like one of them for like siding patterns when I'm going second. Because like you have the extra cards and stuff, you're guaranteed to usually draw with like the chummies and stuff. So yep, those are the monsters. And Magnamut, he's super good, especially the forbidden jutsu is if you have shifter and him, you wait for them to play a little, and then you shifter them, and even if they have call by, you can chain the Magnamut, and they just lose, obviously, so. Yeah, Cam taught me that. That's the Hinjutsu. And then, so the deck, honestly, is kind of inconsistent a little bit. So obviously play Prosperity, and then I just play like one Desires. It's kind of like I'm playing Cash again with Shifter. Just played one Desires too. And then these, Field Spell, this card is actually just, playing with this card is actually just terrible. Especially if you have to activate in the main phase, it's just horrendous. And then that's it for the engine. And then non-engine, this is why the deck is good. These are the breakers. I don't really want Dark Hole because I kind of like hand traps because a lot of the time they're lower variants, but sometimes just activating these cards is super free. A lot of the time, if I think they'll make me go first, I just take out the Raigekis, and then Storm and Duster are kind of fine because you're not really going to play that much on your first turn anyways.
Guess you dodged all the Mimicools?
I did dodge all the Mimicools, so I would have to put my reading glasses on. And then this is why the deck is good, the non-engine. So 3 of each of these. These are crazy. If you go second, you'll draw at least one of them 75% of the time. And then, like if they have, it's literally just like Maxi when you use this one sometimes. If they have just all engine, it just sucks. Like it's super unfair, but this is why the deck is good. I actually played 0 mirror matches, so probably more people play this deck because just a lot of my rounds, my opponents really just could not do anything. I actually felt bad, which I've never felt like before in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's like, all right, Shifter, summon the Red Dragon, like that's game. And then game 2, it's like Shifter, summon the Dragon, Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, it's game. So, yep. And then some more non-engine. These are kind of the low variance cards I just like to play in a lot of my decks. And then this card is like crazy. This is probably my new favorite non-engine card. So if you don't know what it does, pretty much if you, I know it's light, earth, and wind, but so it does kind of conflict with this, but you can activate it from your hand if they're going to special summon, but you just have to be aware that you can't use this with this because this is a wind, or Hieratic Seal. Like there's a few cards in the extra deck that you can't use if you use that, like the Pop Guy, the 7 is a dark, I believe, so, but like these just paired together, like you imperm them and then you impulse them, but this card is, like if you think imperm is good going second, like this is so much better because like you can play into the board and still save it, where you hit like IP, the fusion spell from the Azumina, like there's just so much stuff, and then like you can just like, it just destroys, it's so good.
And what's the main account?
40 cards.
40 cards?
Yeah, like the engine is pretty weak, so you just gotta try and draw as much engine you can. And these are the Link monsters. I didn't summon any of them ever besides Hieratic Seal. I don't really think you need these too much, and I was actually thinking about it because Cash Tier Unicorn actually makes it kind of hard for you to OTK your opponents. So, and it's kind of a problem. So I did adjust for that by playing 2 of each of these guys, but I probably just cut one of these, probably Hida, and just play a second Trident Dragon. So like the Unicorn just doesn't do much because like if you Shifter and they have Unicorn, it's pretty much like impossible for you to kill them a lot of the time. And then, yep, so those are the links. These are synchros. What's good, Fetty? Typhon, and then these pretty much never come up ever, except for this one. But this helps you OTK. Oh dude, I was telling my opponent, I was like, dude, I was like, this match, I was like, oh, we're not going to time. I'm going to be done in 15 minutes, win or lose. Just happen to be lose.
No, I love it. I mean, the deck is nice for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just chilling.
Quick wins or quick losses.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like the thing that sucks is there's not really very much agency whether you win or lose. Usually, you just have like 1 or 2 plays anyways. But that's also, I guess, like there's no doubt most of the time whether you could win or lose, in my opinion, which is usually probably a bad thing because the deck, like you're just gonna play out your hand. You have 1 or 2 plays anyways. But yeah. So, but I can kind of tell you what some of these other ones are for. This is like randomly if you want to Black Rose their field, and you have like Sangan summoning and Kaiman, but they don't have any type of interrupt. But it doesn't work very well when people are playing like Fire King and stuff. Like there's just a lot of interrupts for like stuff like that. This one kind of helps you OTK because you just pop the field spell. He goes up to 5,000, or if they banish 2 of these with Castor or Unicorn, which came up. So like I had to like pop the field spell, and then he was like 5,000 in his game. And then this is for you, Bell. It just like negates. And then this is for the mirror. So pretty much in the mirror, you're just trying to like summon either the 10 or this guy. And then if they let you summon this, then they just can't do anything. And then this like banishes cards, I guess. And it attacks over this guy. Yeah, the extra deck doesn't really come up too much.
Did you ever make that Typhoon?
No, but like there's a lot of the time there's just no cards like this that would do what this does in the extra deck. Like it'll give you chances or even win you games that you actually just have no chance winning if you didn't play it. So it's kind of just like a high impact card. So I just decided like there's room in the extra deck, like who cares?
Yeah.
And then, so this is kind of what I learned about halfway through the tournament. I think a lot of the time you can kind of guess whether you think they're going to go first or second, depending on how the game goes. Like say you win the roll, destroy them with like Shifter, Imperm, whatever. A lot of the time, I think they will just make you go first. And I'm fine with just gambling, and then worst case, you have game 3 anyways. So when you go first, these are kind of the cards I put in. Like this card is just insane. And then I wanted a card in the side deck that'd be decent, good going first and second, so I put in Book of Eclipse. It's kind of like hit or miss, obviously, but putting their things face down when they have like when they search original and stuff is not terrible. Oh, Centurion. Oh yeah, dude, I played against Pearly and I had like Book of Eclipse and stuff and like Cosmic, and I Dominus Impulse this Black Cat. Like it's that matchup is super rough for him, I think. And then just some more of the go first cards. Anti-spell rivalry, and then I cited 1 deep barrier for the mirror because I actually realized that it's probably just correct for me to just put in cross out for D barrier because people are thrusting for D barrier as well, is what I kind of noticed. And then so like you can just take out like cards in here like Raigeki and stuff that are nice to have, but you won't actually need them to crack the board. So like you're just gonna like, because whether it's Imperm, Ash Blossom, or D barrier, unless it's specifically something like Skill Drain, crossout's actually like pretty crazy because you're still gonna have your 9 chummies, like Shifter, whatever. Like most of the time you'll probably like Shifter chummy them and they'll just like thrust for D barrier. But if you just put in crossout, like they just, like it happened to one of my opponents and he just like was just like pretty much just like threw up because like imagine you like Lightning Storm in the back row, you chain D barrier synchro and they chain crossout for barrier, you're just mega sick. And then this is for you, Bell, but it's super sus because that deck chooses to go first most of the time anyways, even if they lose. I probably would just choose to go first. And 3 Cosmic. This is pretty good against the Centurion matchup for deck lockdown. Shout out to Cameron. It was already in my deck before, but I remember I was talking to like Jesse, who's playing Pack the last round. Jesse's playing Fire King. He's like, oh yeah, my engine was crazy. All Pack had was like Auxilia and some guys in the spell and trap zone. He's like, and then at the end of his turn, he's like, deck lockdown. He's like, yep, that's game. Yep. My 5-card hand just turned into 1. But yeah, that card is actually crazy against this deck. And then this card is actually good going first and second. So it kind of coincides with Book of Eclipse if you want to like hedge your bets. But I'm pretty sure most of the time you should just like try and guess what they're going to do, because if you go first and you just heat wave them game 2, like you guys are going to be done. The match is going to be over in like 5 minutes. Shout out Fetty. Fetty, you grinding the side events?
What are you talking about?
Dude, Fetty always wins the giant card. Fetty giant card deck profile coming in 20 minutes or a few hours. He'll win it as usual. He'll do the deck profile with the sideways giant card. Shout out Bortle.
And I know everyone.
Shout out Bortle.